In 2008, the S&P 500 plunged 38%. Most hedge funds got destroyed. Millennium Management down about 3%, their only negative year ever. In 2022, as markets repriced for inflation and the S&P finished around negative 19%, Millennium was up roughly 12%. How does an $83.5 million fund maintain reportedly long-term annual returns of 14% since 1989? Today I'm breaking down exactly how Millennium works, the cost structure, the risk limits, the math. Let's get into it. So let's begin with section 1, the pod model. Most hedge funds operate like this: one portfolio manager, one big pool of money, one strategy. Millennium operates completely differently. According to their own website, they run over 330 independent trading teams called pods. Each pod operates like its own mini hedge fund. One portfolio manager, a small team of 3 to 5 people, their own P&L. But here's the critical part that makes this work. Every pod has a strict drawdown limits. The Wall Street Journal reports Millennium enforces hard limits. An approximate 5% loss on a team's allocation can halve their team's capital, and 7.5% puts their team at a real risk of termination. This creates four Darwinism. Press reports indicate roughly 15 to 20% staff turnover annually. The weak strategies die fast, the strong ones get more capital. So, section 2, the 5 strategies. So, what do these 330 pods actually trade? Millennium officially breaks it into mainly 5 categories. Number 1, the fundamental equity. Classical stock picking, long undervalued companies, short overvalued ones, sector specialists doing the deep research. Number 2, the equity arbitrage, merger arbitrage, convertible arbitrage, capital structure arbitrage. These pods capture spreads in corporate events. And number 3 is the fixed income, interest rate strategies, credit trading, government bonds, mortgage-backed securities. Number 4, the commodities. Bloomberg reported in January 2025 that Millennium's commodity arm earned more than $500 million in 2024. Energy, metals, agriculture. Number 5, the quantitative strategies. This is where World Quant comes in. Igor Turinchevsky ran Millennium's statistical arbitrage for about 12 years before spinning it off in 2007. According to Bloomberg, World Quant still manages roughly $7 billion for Millennium to deploy millions of alpha using statistical arbitrage, factor investing, and alternate data. Section 3, the Sharpe ratio math. Now let's talk about the math that makes this work. Risk adjusted returns, Sharpe ratio. This is where Millennium dominates. According to analysis of Millennium's 2021 investor letter, the fund posted a Sharpe ratio of 4.82 that year with a 13.61% return. To put that into context, the average hedge fund Sharpe ratio from 2016 to 2011 was around 0.86 according to the Barclay Hedge data. Millennium was 5.6x better on a risk adjusted basis. Morgan Stanley Research found multi-manager platform assets grew from $185 billion in 2019 to $350 billion by 2023. Here is the portfolio math behind it. When you have 330 plus independent pods with low correlation to each other, portfolio theory says your Sharpe ratio improves proportionally to the square root of n. More pods with uncorrelated returns means higher risk adjusted performance. When merger arbitrage struggles, statistical arbitrage might thrive. When equities crash, commodities might surge. The diversification is built into the architecture. Section 4, external allocations. Now here's something most people don't know about. Millennium don't just run internal pods. They deploy billions into external hedge fund managers. In December 2025, Millennium committed $2.3 billion to Fulcrum Asset Management and $850 million to Armar Capital. Back in July, they put $3 billion into KR Capital and $1.2 billion into Optimus Capital. Why do they do this? They use separated managed accounts or SMAs, not fund investments, direct custody and control. A JP Morgan Prime finance analysis from 2019 showed this structure can lower financing cost by 22% and free up 24% additional capital through cross margining. Goldman Sachs research shows 83% of multi-manager platforms now use pass-through fee structures. Expenses go directly to investors. External allocation solves 3 problems at once: accessing strategies outside internal expertise, talent acquisition without permanent employment, and capital deployment without diluting existing port performances. Section 5. Risk Infrastructure. Millennium's own site shows over 6,500 employees globally, 13 million plus trades executed daily, 100 plus global exchanges, 850k plus data files integrated daily, 45 plus currencies traded. This is not a small operation. Risk management sits centralized, not at the pod level. Central risk management tracks every pod's factor exposures, sector concentrations, and cross-port correlations in real time. Capital flows dynamically towards highest risk suggested performance. Reuters reported in December 2025 that hedge funds are using near record leverage. Firm level leverage estimates for any specific fund are not publicly disclosed, so treat industry figures as estimates. Section 6. 2024-2025 performance. So how did this all play out recently? Bloomberg reported in January 2025 that Millennium returned 15% in 2024, their best year since 2020. Now, the S&P 500 returned roughly 23 to 24% last year. So Millennium underperformed on absolute terms. But remember, Millennium risk-adjusted returns remain superior with significantly lower volatility. In early 2025, Bloomberg reported that index rebalancing teams lost approximately $900 million during the market chaos. The larger team, known as SRBL, is run by Glenn Scheinberg. Bloomberg reported that Millennium's flagship fund slid 1.2% in March 2025 and 2% for quarter 1, their first loss of more than 1% since 2018. That's the pod model working. One strategy blows up, even a $900 million blow up, and the rest contain the damage. Section 7. The compensation. How do they attract talent to operate under these strict rules? Money, a lot of it. According to institutional investor Easy Englander, personally made $4 billion in 2024, making him the highest earning hedge fund manager that year. According to press reports, Millennium has competed for talents with 9-figure packages for top hires in recent years. Reportedly, PM's team often receive profit share payouts. Industry sources cites split in 10 to 20% range, though compensation varies widely by role and agreement. The rules are clear. One PM put it this way: they are a good firm. If they bet on you, they will hire you. But if you and your team don't make money, they will shut the pot. That's the game. The rules are very clear. High risk, high reward, but the risk is binary. Perform or leave. Section 8. Competitive moat. So what's the moat here? Why can't everyone just copy this model? First, scale. LCH Investments rank Citadel, D. Shaw, and Millennium as the top 3 hedge funds by lifetime gains. Millennium's 35-year track record reflects infrastructure that can't be replicated overnight. Second, capital discipline. Bloomberg reported in October 2024 that when Millennium raised $10 billion, they received $20 billion in investors' requests. They turned half away. Third, the talent flywheel. The best PMs want the best infrastructure. The best infrastructure attracts the best PM. It compounds. Millennium Management runs over 330 independent teams under strict drawdown limits, generating reported long-term annual returns of about 14% since 1989. The model is simple in concept: diversify across uncorrelated alpha sources, kill losing strategies fast, scale winners. The execution is anything but simple. Roughly at $3.5 billion in assets, over 6,500 employees, trillions of data points. That's how you build a hedge fund that almost never loses. If you found this breakdown valuable, I write detailed research on hedge funds, quant strategies, and systematic trading on Medium and Substack. All links are in the description below. You can also connect with me on LinkedIn if you want to chat about quant finance. Thanks for watching.